Would you like to know how do people actually respond to questions? If you are interested in this topic, then stay tuned. I'm Dr. Matt and welcome to my channel. Of course, there's many ways that people use to respond to questions that are being asked, but we will actually pin them down to a few most popular kinds. The first one is a direct answer. So what's your name? My name's Matt. This is how it's done. There is no descriptive patterns here. There is no extra information. They simply respond to the question and that's it. Second type is lying. We all know that. What's your name? My name's Susan. As a matter of fact, it's Angelica, for example. The third type, changing the topic. So, what did you do yesterday? Oh boy, where did you buy this beautiful dress? It's amazing. People change the topic usually when it's not comfortable for them to talk about what you suggested, which means they, in a certain way, avoid answering the question. Then the fourth type is a partial answer to the question. So, what did you specifically do yesterday at 5 p.m.? At 5 p.m. yesterday, I was somewhere. So they respond to you partially, but they don't really give you the details you're looking for, which might mean that they are, again, avoiding the answer or simply hiding some information from you. Asking a question as a response is quite popular. So, how are you? And how are you? So, what did you do yesterday at 5? And what did you do yesterday at 7? So, when someone who is asked a question is always constrained by the nature and the contents of the question, that is presupposing certain answers. When I say, what's your name? You cannot really say Friday because it's not a name. You have to stick to the content that the question is suggesting. When you use a question for a question, then it's connected with distribution of responsibility. Someone who's asked a question is responsible to answer it, but if they answer back with a question, they put the responsibility back on the person who asked before. Another one is a distortion. So someone says, for example, so did you do your homework? Ask her child, the mother, and they say, homework is very important to be able to be a good student. So they distort the information. They don't really answer the question that is asked, but they stick to it, but simply distort the answer that, but simply distort the question that was asked. Another one is a metaphor. So someone says, so did you write this report? And they say, well, this time goes by, time flows so fast that it's really hard to perceive. We're getting older, aren't we? So again, it's a way to avoid answering the question or to answer it, but from a different perspective, because metaphorically speaking, you're engaging different parts of the brain of the interlocutor, and also you don't stick to facts. Metaphors don't have to be logical, there's pure storytelling. Non-verbal answers, so they don't say anything, but you look at their body posture and their face and gestures, and this is how you calibrate what's happening. And finally, distribution of responsibility, putting responsibility away. So what did you do yesterday at 5? And someone says, well, ask John. He's the one who's going to know. So they redirect the question and put it on someone else's shoulder. This way they don't need to be responsible, or simply because they don't know, or simply because really the other person, the other party is responsible for answering. So these are the most typical types of answers that we can have, and it's important for you because whenever you ask a question, you really ought to identify the way in which they are answering the question so that you get what you're looking for and the person sticks to the facts, if this is, of course, the objective that we have. I hope that you enjoyed this topic, and if you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask them. If you know someone who could benefit from this material, please send them a link. And if you haven't done that yet, subscribe to this channel so that you can get more information on mixed mental arts. Also visit my website, drmattofficial.com. Goodbye, see you next time.